Welcome to round 2 of GAC of this season. So if you saw my last video, it would be a bit of a different point of view into looking into GAC. So this way, instead of me playing the battle as we play it, right, like you'd normally see it, what we have here instead is me just commenting over the GAC after I played it. So you can review a little bbit and I can give you my thoughts on the most important battles really that I played. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead. Oh my god, let's head straight into it. All right, so here I actually bite the bullet on a wrong call, and I haven't really figured out what makes Sidious work and what made Sidious not work against this Finn Zorii team. And now I did because I failed this battle. So pretty much everything that matters here to make it work is the level 3. When you see there the light side and potency up thing being brought up, so whenever they get the tenacity up, you just can't land your dots, you can kill them. That being said, if you play this battle out long enough, I can skip a bit ahead, your Sidious doesn't really die. So I did back out because I was getting, you know, a bit frustrated. It's not going to lead to anywhere. So when you're playing that battle, if they have that level 3, you can play Sidious. If they have that level 3, if they have that level 3, you can play Sidious. If they don't have it, then you're good. That's all there is to it. There's no relic level difference and stats difference that really matters. So that's your way of handling Finn Zorii. If the level 3 is not there, then you can just do Sidious. And then, well, my cleanup version, or my first attempt, would have been Lord Vader instead. This is nice because Mulgar ISC apparently has a ton of value. I've been using it against those Jedi teams, right? But apparently people also say that it works against Gungans, and if the win rate there is very high, more than happy to, you know, sponsor those that Mulgar ISC and have like a Lord Vader split for this. But maybe figure out some other teams that can also handle this team better at the end of the week. Alright, so here, Traya still works against Tuskens. It's pretty much the same thing as it's always been. I did have a little bit of a setback at some point here in this battle. Yep, Traya vented. No, but Traya got one shot by Warrior, which is a bit unusual. Usually Savage will have his taunt up, right? So this kill here is quite unusual. Usually it won't happen, but you still win here. So if you're worried about it, Tuskens is always a good counter. That being said, always keep a good counter in hand for Tuskens. This team is disgusting in 3v3, and you should always be aware of it. Also, that mechanic that happens there with the Raider revive, whenever Nihilus kills Raider the first time, the summoned one, it will always summon another one, even if he can't be revived or whatever, right? It's like the first summon is bugged, where the second one always spawns in. So the best way to play this is you isolate the summoned Raider, then you take out OG Raider, then Warrior, then Chieftain, and you let this guy just sit there. Otherwise, what you end up doing is what I did, and you have to nuke the Raider, nuke Raider, then Warrior, then Chieftain. Alright, so here I saw a GG team that doesn't have stab, which I felt like it was a little bit odd. And I played one of those overkill Padmé datacrons that I can, so I did. And yeah, Padmé just kind of destroys this, right? GG is a health-based unit, and then you just kind of destroy these guys, so not a whole lot more going into it. If this had stab, I believe this would have a bit more interest to you, but maybe this is still something that you could be looking into. All right, and now BV also have their datacron back, or a good datacron where they can play, no matter where it's fine for them. There's like no level 3 doubt for anyone. Here I have a kind of decked out Galactic Republic datacron. You have the 75% damage reduction, you have the tech level 9, so the team is kind of okay. And yeah, when you play this battle, it's actually not that bad. Also the correct level 3, right, to be a bit more tanky. And you can kind of survive against this team. But yeah, the level 6 is actually huge, so they deal a ton of less damage towards you. And eventually you kill Watt, you kill Django. Since Tank Tech is on Trench, right, he's a little bit more complicated to kill. So I just left him for last, and that's really all about it there. And then here, I opened the back wall, I saw DTMG. Rogue One still works, fantastic team, just destroys these guys so well, so always keep it in your back pocket. What else is going on around? Oh yeah, so default counter, CJ Malicos Starkiller versus Rey. We covered this one in the first episode, but basically what you do, you just kill Callcasters, with doing specials, it really doesn't matter what you do. Like, you just have so much damage. Like, look at that, 164k pulled out of absolutely nowhere. My Datacron's not good, doesn't really matter. I do a basic, 250k damage there to Ben. Like, it's just shreds, right? It's fantastic. Boom. Also prevent revives, I believe, so that's why Rey doesn't even come back there, so just good. Then I also had Bane to spare, so I can just use him against Jabba. The only thing about Bane, right to left, just use specials and like you kill people without even really trying. It doesn't matter who you target, really. Like, he just destroys people. There was also this dash team versus Aphra. I believe that someone questioned my targeting here in chat while I was playing this. This is really awkward. I mean, look at my Han Solo HP. I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna give him a good Datacron to this team. Fine, I'll give them a 15%. Also here they could have killed Han there, so that would have sucked. Maybe stun BT1 and then you go for Aphra. Maybe that's a bit better. I don't know if it is, but it was pretty scary to play like that anyway. I feel like it's justified to stun Aphra, so if she doesn't get to her cooldown increase at any point, but tricky battle. Wow, we got through this really quickly too. Yeah, Inquisitors versus Beck, it just destroys them. It's pretty easy. You kill the Anakins, leave it back for last, and then the rest is a bit leftover cleanups. Sorry, not cleanups, overkills. Because I have JML, I can just kill Padawan Obi-Wan with this. I mean, you know, cool. Just use lead ability, kill Padawan Obi-Wan, then you know how the rest of the team really works out, and they're not threatening to you while Padawan Obi-Wan is. So, not a whole lot more going into it. When you play this, by the way, do keep in mind level 6. That's like a mechanic that you need to play around with the damage reduction. It is quite important because otherwise you deal no damage to these guys, so that's something I'd keep in mind. There is still this somewhat interesting leftover Jedi team, kind of, right? This team is what you'd save for Malgus if you were to play Basti Cal versus Malgus, right? Maybe you have Fermetio to the left, maybe you have Mace Windu left. Either way, you can flex that around, and you can use this against Malgus. Apparently, you can also use it against CLS, which I was pretty happy about, because I did Jedi Master Luke with Jedi Knight Revan and Jedi Knight Luke, right? And that's a team you will use against Lord Vader. That's a team you'll use against Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. In this case, I did it against Padmé, but, you know, whatever gets the job done, really. So, in this case, pretty happy to see these Jedi being able to do the job against CLS. A few mistakes here when I played it, trying to debuff CLS without call to action. So he has all of that extra tenacity on his unique. But it really doesn't matter. Like, look at the damage from these guys. The level 6 from the Jedi really beefs up this team to very good heights. The rest of that GAC wasn't super interesting, so we're gonna get to the other account. Here, one thing to keep in mind, right? Saw was a common staple team for 4 months now in 3v3 defense and 5v5 defense. And now you have to consider that Wampa can kill this team. The start looks very ugly, as you saw, but once Wampa gets some counters in, gets a little bit of health steal going, and then he does his AoE, it's over. Basically, to stop Wampa, when you have a Saw team on defense, you need to kill him right off the bat. And the team with Base and Shoot doesn't usually provide that. A team that does it a bit better would be something that has 2 damage dealers there. There's like, I think it was like Big's Wedge. It's ironically better just so you can get the kill on Wampa a bit sooner, because otherwise Wampa will just kill Saw. And we are in a world, we're in 2024, we're in a world where Wampa shouldn't be doing any solos unless he has a Datacron that's dedicated to him. Such as like that level 3 with Thoughts. That's a bit better around his ballpark. This is kind of not. Here we also had the Lord Vader team that was Fennecable. It had like a leftover set 14 Datacrons. I can show you a little briefly how this one works. Here, basically your objective is if you have to, like for example, if Fennec doesn't get this turn before Thrawn, your Mandalorian should disintegrate Thrawn, or your Fennec should basic Thrawn to death. But in this case, we get the best of both worlds. We kill Thrawn, we kill Railguard, we get to finish off Lord Vader with Fennec. You get the armor shreds, and you just put some damage in, you kill him. So, good old counter. I was pretty happy to play it because it's been a very long time since I've played this. And another counter here to Rey evolves Bane. Bane, you know, rifle out, do the same thing, just do AoEs, you kill everyone. He's just that good. A bit more in the realms of the more interesting battles. Here we have Sidious working against Bo-Katan of Mandalore. So Bo-Katan of Mandalore was a very strong team for 4 months as well, as alongside Saw, right? She had her whole nuke level 9 and all of that. It was crazy good. But now that is not available anymore, and Bo-Katan of Mandalore can be decimated by Sidious. So if you place Bo-Katan of Mandalore, you need to be a bit aware of the Sidious team. And well, yeah, she probably shouldn't be on defense in this case. Or, right, you have that level 3 with the tenacity up thing. That's really the key to stopping this guy from soloing your teams. So I'd say that some of these teams that have higher win rates on defense or whatever, and you're like a bit worried if you can play Sidious or place anti-Sidious boards, it's about that level 3 with the tenacity up. It's such a big deal. Also, another thing to keep in mind, I was very curious to see. I was being told that this Reva team can kind of destroy the hopes of your Malgus squad. And it gets really interesting. Look at the damage they do to Malgus here. This is not common for the typical Reva teams. That being said, I think that if you have a little bit more damage on the Datacron or a little bit more relics or whatever, maybe you can kill sides a little bit better. Maybe there's a, like, look at my Malik here, right? He's in terrible conditions at this point. Here I'm trying to play a little bit with fear, but look at those Reva counterattacks. It made me wonder, or at least right now as I'm reviewing this, whether if you, instead of having 7th Sister, you have 8th Brother there, my Malik and my DR would probably be dead. So I don't know if that's a better defensive team, because usually not having 7th Sister opens up other opportunities for other teams that just work better. But like the damage on this team is very high. This is also not having a 9th Sister Datacron. Like, would 9th Sister be there a bit better too? Not sure. But like this team is threatening. Like I don't think you can go against Reva and expect Malgus to work, but it did work, that being said, right? But it is a bit of a rough battle. All right, so here I played the mirror match with Leia versus Leia, and the difficulty is when I feel like if you focus Drogon, it's bad, because then you're not doing enough damage to Leia, and then their Leia ults first, and then you lose. So I focus Leia instead, and then what happens? My Drogon is perma-blind the whole match. It's crazy. Or stunned. Like here, now he gets stunned, now he gets blind when I try. Like it's a bit unplayable, and so I can't win this mirror match. So I'd advise that you don't do this with Leia. If this is the situation you get yourself into, I recommend not to, because this battle is pretty wacky to play. I don't even know if there's a way where maybe I can manage their Drogon a bit better, but then I just feel like it's difficult to play too. Also, I just left this preloaded because one of the perks of this is that you don't have an airplane mode as you do with BlueStack, so like, well, we preload a little bit, but I clean it up anyway, and it is CGBA armor. If there's one thing about preloads that is actually not that bad, is that armor gets those 3 stacks quite nicely, and she can just put that Beskar out on Sith Eternal, and you're kind of chilling as well. So C does end up killing the whole Leia team. Usually he will time out on this or lose to Leia in the 1v1 or this 1v2 part, but he's too tanky, so that wasn't too bad. I was actually pretty surprised by this. And then on the other end of using 3rd Sister or playing against 3rd Sister, I'm pretty much on, I think she's better on defense, but she did a freaking good trade here. I mean, look at this, Jabba, right? And I just used 3rd Sister and we beat this team. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Sorry, probably spoiler alert, but I'm doing this in review process, right? I can't get through this without spoiling a little bit on how the GAC went. But I'm pretty happy about this, right? We killed the Jabba team using Inquisitors. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's amazing. They do have that much damage. It really does come down to that. Then I think I started having a couple of bad decisions or things going wrong. Like, for example, against this gas team, I wasn't really expecting to lose this, but the level 6 with the extra damage just does so much. Yeah. I mean, I also lost a little bit of focus. I think like my opponent had only done 1 attack, and he preloaded my Super Leader Kylo Ren. and he wasn't going to play it again. So like maybe I could have spent a bit more time planning it better. But I think from this point onwards, the GSC starts to getting really complicated with some of the losses as well. That Starkiller was one turn away from getting to his ultimate and winning. So, but I think from here onwards, I don't have much more fun stuff to show. So yeah, that'll be my review for round 2. Hope there was something in here that was kind of enjoyable and that you could learn something with. If that's the case, thank you so much for watching. You can always drop a like and subscribe so I can keep doing this content and bringing it to you. And I'll be back on round 3. Thank you so much. Take care and goodbye.